Why is Jesse considered a homophobic, but yet he loves men? Take a listen to all of these videos. Hello, guys. The question that puzzles everyone is Jesse Lee Peterson gay? Is he a homosexual? I mean, it's strange to say that since he's always against, he's anti gay, he's anti homosexual. He always talks bad about pride, about homosexuals, but yet he gets excited about interviewing gays and lesbians. I mean, he has gays pastors, priests, women who are lesbians. He criticized them. However, he is fixated on homosexuality. He's so fixated on it where he actually invites his guests on the Fallen State. He knows, of course, they're gay, but to ask them questions about their personal life. He always asks, "Do you have sex with men?" And then, instead of saying, "Are you gay or not?" he'll say, "Do you have sexual relationships with men?" to a pastor or priest. And he wants to know, how is the feeling? Why you feel this way? Do God know you feel this way? Like, just stupid questions you'll ask these people. And I've always wondered, why are you so fixated on homosexuality, and why a lot of your guests are either lesbian or homosexual? Like, why are you so fixated on it? And you would even ask this guest, like, "You don't look gay, gay people are this way and that," stereotypes. So I was just kind of confused about that. And the fact, okay, he has 13 brothers and sisters, right? It's a household of 13 brothers and sisters. And he lived in a plantation in Alabama. And of course, his parents separated, and he lived with his mother and stepfather, and he left to go move with his grandparents back in Alabama when they were in, his mother and stepfather were in, I don't recall the place, but he moved back to Alabama. Okay, 13 brothers and sisters. So, of course, you didn't really get the love and attention you needed for your mother. And he resented his mother. I think till this day he resents his mother. That's why he does not like women. And he candidly says that. Like, he openly says women, Satan is their daddy. Like, who would say something? And he also told me when I called him that women do not have love, because he didn't experience love from his mother, because it's 13 brothers and sisters. He didn't experience love nor attention. So I think that he has a lot of grudge and resentment towards his mother for that. And he also blames his mother from separating from his biological father. That's why he always says, "You have to go to your father before anything, your earthly father." And I even told him, I said, "No, you need to go to God. You went to God." But of course, he got upset with that. And when he recants the story of Adam and Eve, saying it's Eve's fault, she did this, she did that. And I said, wait a minute, but Adam came first. He's the leader, he's the head of the household. Why didn't he make the decision? Why didn't he tell the wife, "Stand down, you need to listen to me"? It shows a weakness in Adam's character. So that's why a lot of men are weak. So that's the karma for the man. He didn't like when I said that. Of course, he got all upset, even though he says he never gets angry. He doesn't sin. He gets upset a lot of times, especially when I speak to him, because I'm logical when he says women don't have logic, they don't have love to give, because he didn't get any love. Another fact I would like to say is Jesse Lee Peterson have not been in a relationship with a woman in over 30 years. You don't see him with a woman. Never. I haven't seen him dated or holding hands with any women. He lives in Bond, his Bond organization, and it only consists of men, broken men, who's had drug addiction and all that other stuff. So he lives with a bunch of men who are broken, and it's easy to manipulate men who are broken. And there were allegations of 5 men. One of them was his co-host, Rooney, who actually admitted he had a 10-year sexual relationship with Jesse and had to move to another state in Florida to get away from him. And Jesse bribed him, according to reports and research, to come back, because he couldn't, that's a long relationship. 10 years, and this Rooney guy was married. Jesse baptized his wife, and then the Godfather's, he's the godfather of the son. So imagine that. No one believed him. His son didn't even believe him. You got to go see the documentary But he has four other guys that claim they had, some sort of touching relationship or even sexual relationship with him, and or claims about how he would touch them inappropriately and stuff like that. So I mean, for me, based on my conversations with Jesse Lee Peterson, and of course you'll look at these clips where I ask him certain questions, he gets irritated and upset. Although he says anger is bad, you should never get angry. You hear the irritation in his voice. I even asked him out on a date to prove that women are, not evil. They're not Satan. And he was so offended, guys. He got so offended. He hung up and called me devil. You will hear that in a clip. I'm not making this up. And guess what? He got so offended at that when I said, you know what, let's just have a conversation over lunch. He got offended and hung up on me and called me devil. I think anybody would be flattered by that from a woman, but not Jesse Lee Peterson. He haven't had any close contact, physical or anything with a woman for over 30 years. He says he's celibate, but I'm not buying it. Because he speaks of sex too much, with people. I'm just not buying it. And also, after that clip, you'll see another clip where Vosh, which is a guy, he interviews on Fallen State, and the guy was like, yes, I'm gay and whatever, this and that. He was like, and he started asking personal, deep questions. So how did you get gay and all that other stuff? And then Vosh was like, I'm just attracted to men that I'm attracted to, like you. I'm attracted to you or whatever. He's like, are you liking me now? Like, he was so excited that a white man likes him or was flirting with him. You'll see that in the clip. So for me, I think Jesse Lee Peterson does have homosexual tendencies, just based on his response, his rhetoric, the fact that he is anti-gay, but yet secretly likes men, his touchy. I mean, there's photos of him, all over men. That's kind of strange for a pastor that's homophobic. And all his staff are men. He refuses to have women, and he thinks the civil rights movement was bad. He thinks women shouldn't be voting. He thinks women should stay at home and clean and cook. He thinks women should never be leaders. They're too emotional. They're not logical at all. He thinks a lot of disparaging comments. He makes a lot of disparaging comments about women. And it's like he resents women, calls women Satan's daddy. That's a resentment, And he hasn't dated women. You've never seen him with a woman. So what does that tell you? That's telling, So I'm going to show you multiple clips why I think a lot of people probably believe he is in fact a secret homosexual. He's living a double life. He basically praises white men. He's infatuated and, of course, likes them. He's attracted to them. You can tell by the way he looks at them. For me, I can tell. And he dislikes women because his resentment towards his mother, and I don't think he have forgiven his mother. I still think he holds the grudge. Even on his morning show, the way he talks to certain women, it's like he's still holding a grudge against women because his mother and also his baby mother. So, guys, go ahead and take a listen to all of this. And in fact, I actually went to a tarot reader on YouTube, and I basically asked a simple question. She doesn't know this guy. Of course, she's in Europe. I said, is Jesse Lee Peterson gay? You guys need to take a listen to what she responds. She doesn't know him. She just pulls the card, and the card tells her. And I won't say no more. Go ahead and listen to all of the clip. It's pretty short. But you guys will probably think differently of Jesse Lee Peterson. I think he has homosexual tendencies, and I wouldn't put it past him because there's been a lot of pastors that's been living in a closet. I wouldn't put it past him that he had sexual relationship with all these men, including his co-host of 30 years, Mr. Rooney. I believe he actually has sexual relationships with men. I cannot prove it because I haven't seen it. But based off of everything, the way he acts and his hatred towards women, for sure. And I can't think of anything for him to act that way towards women or even make all those comments. It's just sickening to me. But go ahead and listen to all of these. You'll find it very entertaining. These clips are educational. You will learn a lot about Jesse Lee Peterson and why I think, and I think a lot of people think, Possibly could be a homosexual.
Tasha?
I've called before. We had several conversations, Mr. Peterson. Um, so I wanted to ask you, why do you think women don't have love?
Because they because of Satan being their God, they only have anger, and they live deeply in their imagination. And
That's from inception, like every woman from the time they're born,
yes,
or over time.
it really is passed down to them from their mothers
So when they're
because
born
they
in the
become
womb.
right. They're not born with it unless the mother was angry during pregnancy or something like that. She hated the man or she was emotional and stuff like that.
Okay, so it only comes from angry mothers, not all women, just the angry mothers.
But all women are angry. All
So you,
mothers are angry
oh, okay, so all mothers are angry, and why are they angry?
because of the nature of Eve that made a home in them. When Eve listened to the serpent, he became her God, and that nature is passed down through from Eve to through the women. But when the ladies forgive their mothers and return to their earthly fathers, they can over that nature will be taken away from them.
So you're saying it's like a karmic consequence from the mother, like karma,
Well,
or
it's a spirit that been passed on to the kids when they become angry. Because
okay.
the
So
anger of a man is that of their mothers. It's not normal for men to be angry. Are you a Christian, Natasha?
I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ, and I was just asking these questions to understand where you get these principles from. Okay, so the
So
Bible.
are you a Christian?
I said yes. I believe in God, and I believe in Jesus Christ. Yes, sir.
So, and then I'm going to let you ask whatever you want to ask me about that.
Sure. Sure.
Um,
Go ahead.
and why are you talking about karma? What is karma?
Like a consequence, like for instance, you do something to me, I do something back, just like sin. I call it karma sin. You know, like you do something to somebody, like for instance, the mother, like you said, is angry, and that anger came from Eve. It's a consequence of what Eve did. It passes down from one person to the next. That's what
So,
I consider
so you
karma.
mean like you reap what you sow?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So, would you consider men weak since the man listened to Eve, and then that is their karma, or that's what they're because
Well,
obviously,
every time the man listened to the woman, include his mother, he suffers because the women don't have logic to give, so they're not going to give you answers that set you free. They'll give you things that cause you to go deeper into hell.
well, that's not true because I gave a guy an advice. He didn't take my advice. He ended up drowning in debt, and guess what? He went back and he listened to me, and guess what? He was able to obtain his business back, and he's better off now. He thanked me for it. So
But
sometimes
but
an
I'm not
advice
talking
from a
about
woman is
physical.
good.
I'm talking about spiritual.
Spiritual, okay. I mean, it depends. There's a lot of wise women in the Bible, right? And
No,
even Jesus, his birth mother, you know, she was strong, right?
no.
God put. So why did God put women on the earth?
Why do you
Why are we
say his
here?
birth mother was strong?
No, well, I mean, Jesus was brought into earth by a strong woman.
No,
You don't
he
think
was
so?
brought into earth by God.
Okay, but who held the baby in her womb?
God.
It was Jesus. I mean, it was the Mary, right?
It was God.
Isn't it? Okay,
He
okay, we're
put
gonna
it
say
there.
that.
He held it there.
But
He
he still put
delivered
it there.
it. I'm sorry?
Oh, it was still in her womb, isn't it?
But that doesn't make her strong just because the bread was in the oven. What the?
Well, it says it in the Bible that she was strong,
But
and also there's
why
a
do
lot of powerful
why do you say strong?
because that's what it says in the Bible.
It said Mary was strong.
Yes, it says that in the Bible. I'll give you the verse.
Give me
And
the verse
also,
where
it
it
says
says
God
Mary.
made
Give me the verse where it says Mary was strong.
God made woman in His image for a special reason. So, do you think men should be with men instead of women?
Women are
If
not
they're
made in God's image. Women are made in man's image. The man came from
well,
God, and
I
the
guess
woman, the man.
you need to debate that with God because that's what
Natasha,
it says in the
Natasha,
Bible. Yes, sir.
calm down and let's have a sober
Okay, sure.
conversation.
Well, can I say one thing? Since you think women are so evil and bad, how about I take you out to dinner or lunch, and then we'll have a conversation. Would you like that, Mr.?
Thank you. That's Satan. Get behind me, Satan. I thought she was seriously seeking. Amazing. 888-77, there's one line open. 888-77-53-773. One line open. Super chat. Super.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Super Chatters.
Good morning, y'all. Hi, y'all. Wow.
Okay, on D Live.
Did you think Natasha was serious seeking, or did you know she was messy?
I didn't hear the end there.
Oh.
But I thought that she was angry.
Yeah.
You can hear it in her voice when she's questioning you.
Even
though I thought she liked you. I'm not sure.
She wasn't trying to understand for her freedom. She was trying to build her ego.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Anyway, good morning, y'all.
On D Live.
Absolutely. I love folks.
And so you're a homosexual?
Yeah. Well, I like
didn't know
everyone,
that.
men, women.
How did you become that way?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I was raised pretty well, loving parents. Couldn't have been them. I just figured around 15, 16s, I like all sorts of folks. Figured I might as well carry that forward, you know?
What does it feel like to be a homosexual? What is that feeling?
You've been in love with women before, right? I assume
Right.
you're straight. Yeah. It feels pretty much like that. I find folks attractive, and sometimes if they're real nice to me when I hit them up at parties, then I decide, hey, maybe we'll go on a date. Pretty much the same process, I imagine.
So you like men, women, homosexuals, non-identity, and all that kind of stuff?
Non-binary folk and trans folk, cis men, cis women, the whole spectrum.
Really? You take anything that comes along?
I have to find them hot. But yeah, there are lots of hot folks all over the place. I think, by the way, you look wonderful today. So I
Are
think
you liking me right now?
Oh no, not like that. I just think that you're fantastic. You're aged wonderfully. You have a flawless beard going on. You're well haircut. I think that you're a phenomenal example. If you were into men, you'd have your pick of the cut. Let me tell you.
I appreciate that. Do your parents know you are like this?
Oh yeah, they're super nice.
Your father's okay with it too?
Oh yeah. No,
Does
my
he-
father's been wonderfully supportive. Strong though. Strong, disciplined kind of dad. You know.
And he's aware that you're into all this?
Yeah.
Amazing. What do you think about white supremacy? It was a negative word, but now I realize what they're thinking is that, and it's true, by the way, that white men are smarter than them, superior to them, and instead of learning, oh, hey, how did you become so superior? They want to destroy it so that they won't be reminded how dumb they are. And so they're dumbing everybody and everything down rather than coming up to the level of white supremacy.
Do some things, kind of horseplay and stuff like that with me. And at times he would do stuff where he would like grab me and then we'd kind of wrestle around a little bit. And then I'd feel his, private parts against me. And he did that more than once. So it wasn't like an accidental thing. He would kind of do it. And then I even mentioned it like, what's that or whatever. And he would kind of play around and joke about it.
Fast forward to 2005, and Jesse was ready to make his final move.
We did a conference with them called Moral Reconstruction, which is kind of ironic now that we're sitting here talking about something else. It's called Moral Reconstruction. We did that. That first conference was, I believe, in 2005. And we did a follow-up conference in 2006 with them as well. And I went with Jesse to Washington, D.C. For this conference. I was a fundraiser at the time. And so we did fundraising, and I was part of the conference. While we were at the conference, we stayed in Virginia, near D.C. So we were sitting on the bed together, and all of a sudden he turned to me and just looked at me, and he said, "What do you want to do? What do you want to do?" And he said it in a tone that was really insistent. And I'd never seen this tone from him before. It was like kind of scary. It kind of scared me. Like what? What do you want to do? I knew what he meant, and then I told him, okay. And at first I'm scared, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm playing along here. It kind of threw me off my game, I guess, in a way. I think later I realized that's kind of something that people do sometimes. It's like the devil works in a certain way by intimidating you, and it throws you off your normal game. And so he said, what do you want to do? And he's like, okay, I'm scared. And then I told him what I want to do. I mentioned sex acts, that he knew about, that I had already talked to him about, that I was interested in. And next thing you know, he's ripping his clothes off and coming at me, basically. And I did the same, took my clothes off. And next thing you know, we're fully at it, having, not getting into detail here, but basically full-on sexual acts.
Rooney's recollections show that Jesse mirrored DeLand's sexual advances almost identically.
I love you. Love you too. I know. What are we going to do? I don't know. No, what are we going to do, really?
Rooney's description shows that after their sexual encounter, Jesse began intertwining his private homosexualism with blasphemy.
After we had just done this first sexual act, and then ever since then, he told me that once we did this, I was born again. This sounds crazy, but this is the absolute truth. He said that I was born again. He would remind me of that through the years.
Following being born again, Rooney contends that his sodomitic relationship with Peterson went on for roughly 10 years, until Rooney decided to come clean to his wife and son.
My son was really angry. My son was mostly angry at me, because he had Jesse on such a pedestal. My son had Jesse on such a pedestal, he literally thought Jesse could walk on water. We got on a phone call, we talked to Jesse, and as soon as we brought it up with my son on the phone call, Jesse denied it. And I said, Jesse, you're a liar. You're lying. You know you're lying. And he finally came out and admitted to my son that he did that.
Rooney later moved to Florida to get away from Jesse. But according to Rooney, Jesse couldn't handle the relationship ending, offering him several bribes to get him back to LA. It's typical for homo predators to try and cover their...
Peterson to see if he's gay. Take a listen to this.
Is Jesse Lee Peterson gay? The answer is yes, he is gay. Why did you waste your question on that?
Oh, we just want to come out of the closet. Just let us out of the closet. And then they said, oh, we want to go to church, but we don't want to be talked about at church. So a lot of preachers stopped mentioning that homosexuality is wrong, that something has gone wrong, and they must repent and return to God. Now they have taken over the churches. There are a lot of preachers who are afraid to speak out against so-called Pride Month. I started the White History Month in July. This is our 4th year coming up when we are celebrating white history. And what I've noticed that in America, a country that was founded by white people and created by white people, one of the greatest countries on this side of heaven. And so white people invited allowed all this other stuff to happen, but you could celebrate everything but white history. We must remember white history, because if it wasn't for that, there would be no America. And so they got Black history, women history, Mexican history, so-called gay pride. What's pride? What's happy about being perverted? There's nothing good about that. Living in sin, right? But we celebrate. But they celebrate that. But when it comes to white history, they're afraid to even mention white history. But we got to bring that back. Welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse.
Hey, Joe.
So did you see the latest report from the CDC showing that 51% of black men are single and childless?
No, I did not.
Yeah, so the black birth rate is going down. That should make you happy.
Yeah, that's amazing. We need
Also,
white babies, not black babies. What the?
Actually, that 60% of black men are now in the middle class, too, according to income.
I know.
So, over time.
They didn't earn it, though. It's affirmative action giving it to them.
Well, that's your stupid thinking, but whatever.
That my
over
what?
Time, that's your stupid thinking.
Why do you say that? They get affirmative action, reparation. They don't have to earn anything. They get it by way of government.
No, that's true. And you keep saying the air traffic controller story, which was already debunked.
No, that's not debunked. Have you heard lately? There are several now, according to a report, almost mishaps in the air.
FAA investigator reported the findings to Congress. No favoritism, no lowering of standards.
And you believed it.
Lying about that.
And you believe that.
And you don't for no reason.
No, and did you believe that, Joe?
I have no reason not to, Jesse.
Joe, they're not gonna, when blacks are involved in it, they're not going to tell you the truth about it. It ain't going to happen. Because when blacks and liberals are involved, the government and the media are not going to tell you the truth about the situation. So, and you know that, I know that, and you know Congress is not going to be honest with you. You already know, Joe. Stop. You know the government, the FAA, the media, and others are not going to tell you the truth because now they're putting these blacks in who are not qualified and these women who are not qualified, and it just ain't going to work.
You stick to your nonsense, Jesse. I'll give you that. You stick to your nonsense.
All right. Thank you,
Joe. After you had your baby.
Well, good question. I was hoping you asked because I need someone to talk to.
I can tell. You need to go to therapy.
Let me tell you
this ain't your therapy, motherfucker. But you need therapy.
No, you're my psychiatrist.
Go ahead.
I was dating this girl when I was 19, and she got pregnant, and we were going to get married. But in those days, it was an embarrassment for black men and women to have babies out of wedlock. Mm-hmm. And so I came to California to get an apartment, get a job in an apartment. Her mother made her get married to another man before I could get back. And that's why I didn't end up marrying her. But I would have married her because in those days, we knew it was the right thing to do. And I was going to do it because it was an embarrassment.
So you hurt?
No, I was hurt when it happened because I didn't want my son to be raised without me because I know what that's like.
Did you raise him?
Yeah, I helped raise him as much as I can. You know how women are.
I know. So after that, you were 19, because you look older now. I know you far from 19.
Yeah.
I'm a Vegas hotel. I don't want anything too serious either. Just a fun.
You didn't decide to meet another woman and try to do it the right way?
Yeah, I was engaged twice, but you know how women try to.
I think the problem is you,
try to control you.
You got engaged twice and you still ain't get married.
Would you
problem.
Would you let a woman control you?
What you mean? She probably want to control you. She just kept telling you, "I'm not with that stupid shit."
I'm asking you. Would you let a woman control you?
Ooh.
You.
No, but I will let a woman have a say so.
But you won't let her control you?
What you mean? If it's for the better of, if it helps better me.
So you would let a woman control you?
Not controlling, she can have a say so. That is some type of control.
Over you?
There's a difference.
She can have a say so over you?
No, she can have a say so. This is called respect. This is what I'm trying to tell you
about
respect. This is why shit don't get done because people don't have respect for other people's opinions.
Can she have a control over you? Would you allow that to happen?
She can have a say so, and I respect her opinion because if it's right, then I'm going to take in heed and bring it into my life. You see what I'm saying? This is like if your wife was to say something and be like, "No, baby, you don't need to do that. You need to do that." She's not controlling you. She's just saying this is something that can better you. And if you're naive enough to not listen to your wife, then that's your dumb ass.
Amazing. We're running out of time, so I have a few more things I want to ask.
You really want to, but you really need to be married, but you need to go see somebody.
Let me ask you this. There's a crisis in America today with fatherless kids. Have you noticed that? And what
fatherless?
Do you think?
Say that shit again.
Like
one more
the kids
time.
don't have fathers in America today.
Now say fatherless one more time, because you said fatherless. I don't know what the hell fatherless.
Are you concerned about that crisis? Have you noticed that there is a crisis concerning that?
Well, I don't know about no crisis. I know a lot of great mothers that raise their kids. My mother raised me.
So you don't see it as a crisis?
It's not a crisis. I just feel like you should just pay attention to who you sleep with.
Why do you think a lot of men...
You should have paid attention to who you slept with.
No, why do you think a lot of men...
Because her mama damn sure stabbed you in the back.
Why do you think...
Told her mama, this ain't got nothing to do with you. This is my woman. What are you talking about?
Why do you think a lot of black women in America today are not marrying the men that they're having the children with?
Why they gotta be just black? It's white motherfuckers who ain't married.
But it's really out of control. It is happening in the white community, but it's out of control in the black community.
It's out of control everywhere, man. People are just fighting.
And it wasn't like that when I was growing up. Why do you think it's like that now?
Good, man. You know, people just worry about love nowadays rather than just marrying the motherfucker. You need love, nigga.
Speaking
you
of
need
love,
it.
speaking of love.
Need it, Hashabak Akbar. You need love.
Allah Akbar.
You need love.
But what is love?
You need a hug.
What is love?
You need to go to the altar. Let me tell you something. You need to go to a Baptist church, a black church. And you might need to pass some clothes because, y'all need to see this. Take this nigga to a black church. Whoever is take this nigga to a black church, but you got to do it at the end. It's called the benediction. It might take 3-4 hours, but this nigga need it. Take him to the black church. You know how when they say join the church, the pastor gonna say it. Take this nigga down. Take him to the altar and have folk to pray over this nigga.
Okay, thank you.
They gonna stretch their arms out, and I want y'all to pray for about a day or two.
So let me ask you this.
He need it.
Hey,
it's great.
Hey, what is love?
Love. A feeling you feel that makes you happy.
Okay, and what is? I know that there are males, right? But what is a man? You ever thought about what is a man?
A man. This is what a man is. A man is the dominant one. The man is the one who goes out there and take care of home. He's the one who leaves the house. He's the one who gets all the scratches and scars and comes back home and makes sure home is taken care of. You see what I'm saying? When you look at the man, the man is the person who takes all the beating. But don't nobody in the family feels it. You see what I'm saying? Because the man's supposed to feel it. He's supposed to make sure that his love is always at the house. They don't see what I see. Because I'm the man of the family. You dig what I'm saying? You got other roles you want me to break down?
Well, were you born and raised in Georgia?
Yes, West Side.
West Side.
Adamsville, Bankhead.
Is that up near Atlanta?
That's in Atlanta.
It's in Atlanta?
That's just all Atlanta.
Oh, okay. And the other question, how do you see race relations in America today?
What you mean?
How do you see race relations in America today?
Like difference, like interracial or just race?
Just race relations between the blacks, the whites, Hispanics, and others.
You can love who you want to love.
Well, I mean, how do you see the relationship between, not the love thing, but how do you see the relationship between the races today?
Oh, you saying like how the whites stay with the whites and the blacks stay with the blacks, like how you see it?
Yeah.
I mean, you see it predominantly in the white, like the whites try to stay with the whites, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, in today's time, it's not really about that, you know? Love who you want to love, because, you know, we got that 1% rule. It don't matter what race we touch. If we touch you, we dominate. They made it up, sorry.
Who did?
The people from the past.
The white people?
I don't know.
So 1% mean once you go black, you can't go back?
You did.
That what you mean?
Once we touch you,
you did.
That baby black. Sorry.
Even if it look white, it's still black?
Sorry. You got to think about it. That's with any other race. That's with any other race. Sorry. That's what they came up with. It's called the 1% rule. You know about the 1% rule?
I believe that's when no, I haven't.
You don't know about the 1%?
No, what is it exactly?
Well, back in the day, slave terms, this is what it was. Because, you know, some of the slave masters used to rape the slaves. So, of course, they was having children. But, you know, if you're a slave master back then, you had money. You know what I'm saying? You had a house, you had all that. So your children was kind of like, if you pass, everything you got goes to your children. Dig what I'm saying? So if you rape a slave and she has a child, rightfully that child has the rights to whatever the dad leaves along with the children. So they said, no. You're not pure. You know what they say pure mean? Like you fully, you know what I'm saying? Fully white. And I don't have a problem with white people. This is the shit they came up with. This is what we learned. This is what we going on. This is knowledge.
You learned
nigga,
you learned that in school?
Listen.
Look, you learned that in school?
No, I learned that in real terminology called the real world, and I looked up in a lot of books. So listen, 1% rule. They said no. If this child has any percent of African American in it, it's not getting nothing of what daddy left us because we're pure. So they call it the 1% rule. If you got 1% of anything in you, you are not white. So, in that case, If we fuck you, welcome to be African American, baby. Sorry. We dominate everywhere we go. We expand, we multiply.
Amazing.
Dig?
Amazing.
Remember?
I will. I'm winding down. What do you? I know
Going
you
to
have
sleep. Got all times.
You have a daughter now. What do you want for your daughter?